are live.
Here we go.
What's going on, everybody? It's Friday, May 17th. We got George, MobileGeezer, and Mike from Simply Your Device, and we got a special guest tonight, AlteredTech.
Yo.
What up, everyone?
Rishi, try looking at the camera when you say that.
Oh no, I'm looking
Okay.
for the chat right now.
Okay. Every time we go live, my phone turns off silent and goes loud on me. Okay. All right. Who's up next? Mike, you up?
Hey there, I'm Mike Dixon. This is Simply Your Device. I'm on vacation. Woo!
So there you go.
Well, somebody's happy.
Everybody. Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm going to tell everybody I got a split. Nice one. Nice one. I got to split early, so I got to do this for an hour. So,
Okay.
and Richie's it's all on his shoulders to carry the rest of the show after I leave.
Okay. And I'm, of course, MobileGeezer, and you can find me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And, of course, my website is mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. And, Rishi, you're in charge for the beginning of this show.
All right. My name is AlteredTech. If you guys want to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, I make a lot of cool videos when it comes to smartphones,
Yes, he
especially
does.
OnePlus devices and some old school devices like the Nexus 6P, the Moto Z2 Force, Moto mods, pretty much almost everything from 2015 and below. So for the OnePlus 7T, should I start with the event?
7 Pro.
7
You
Pro.
gotta-
Oh, 7 Pro, man.
You got to put the Pro there, yeah.
If you were
Right.
at the event, you should know the name, brother.
I know, because I had my mind ahead on the 7T because is there going to be a 7T? I've heard
Nobody
rumors
knows.
there's not going to be a
Nobody
7T.
knows it's going to be a 7T or a 7, so.
That's going to be kind of shocking, though. But anyways, so I got actually invited to be a volunteer for the event. And so, well, I did sign a non-disclosure agreement, so there's some things I can't tell you guys. So for the event, we actually, we packed the goodie bags. We helped out with, setting up the environment and everything. So for me, I was in charge of actually guarding the OnePlus 6T devices. No, 7 Pro, the OnePlus 7 Pro devices.
There you go.
So so far, with my time being there, I have to say that these phones are perhaps one of the most gorgeous designed OnePlus devices I've ever seen. Last year I got a lot of flack for some people for saying like the OnePlus devices are budget devices. So, they actually, stepped up their game and made this device, it's for those like a Galaxy Note 9 fan or some high-end like an iPhone XS Max person. It's large. It definitely feels premium in the hand. Now, I'll say this. Some people say that, with premium, it's actually more fragile. Yeah, that is true. But for last year, with all the criticism I got for it not being like on par with a flagship device, this year you're not gonna have that same argument. It definitely feels like it could be like over 800, 900 bucks, but the price it's what 669,
669, yes.
It's pretty 669. So I did test out the camera during the event. I compared it with the Galaxy S10e. Now, based in that closed environment, like the lights were pretty dim and everything, a lot of the photos actually came out better than the Galaxy S10e's camera. Now, I'm watching some videos with some, top tech YouTubers and with the camera comparisons, they're actually saying like, some photos, the camera on the S10 is actually doing a better job, but in that closed environment, it's like 9 times, 8 times out of 10, the OnePlus did a better job. Now, I'm not sure if I was just, hyped for the event or they were just hyped, but the OnePlus 7 Pro's camera is hands down like just completely better than the OnePlus 6T's. Like I actually tried taking a selfie with Zach from Jerry Rig Everything, and just the detail in my face with the 7 Pro, it was just like above and beyond what the OnePlus 6T had to offer. So that was check number 1. Check number 2, you have that triple camera system. You have the telephoto lens, you have the wide angle lens, and you have that main camera sensor with 48 megapixels. Now the 48 megapixels, I think you're going to like divide that into 4, so you can get like a faster, kind of like a HDR experience. So like with the Pixel devices, when you do that HDR mode, you do have that processing in the background. Well, once you divide the 48 megapixels into 4, you're going to get a photo much faster and with some, better results than the OnePlus 6T.
Question.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, I'm not understanding what dividing the 48 into 4 means exactly.
Well, they're basically taking like, how should I explain it? Like, 48 megapixels, they're shrinking it, they're cutting it up into 4 pieces,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, that's
And
basically.
but
then
then
they're
they
merging it together?
Huh?
And then they're merging it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lot faster than the stock camera app on the OnePlus 6T.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Now I am seeing some reports on the battery life. Someone's just told me, I think it was, what was it? I forgot his name. He said the battery life is not 2 days. It's not a day and a half. It's pretty much just for like 1 whole day.
Right.
Now I'm hoping that's not true because the one thing I love about my OnePlus 6T is that it has like what 2 days of battery life.
But it's pushing that fast display, that 90 hertz, right?
Yeah, the 90 hertz is also a quad HD display as well.
Exactly.
So that's
It's
something
pushing
to
a
consider.
lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Rishi, aren't you
Yep.
able to, I don't know, do something with the screen, like adjust it to
What do you mean? Change the hertz?
for the yeah.
Yeah, I think you can change it back to 60 if you want. Can't
Yeah, you can, and
Yeah.
they say that you could actually save some battery life with that.
Yeah, that's
But-
right. MKBHD said the same thing. Yeah.
Based on what I've heard, I believe his name is what, like Matthew Moniz?
Matthew
Yeah.
What's
Moniz,
his name?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, him. He actually said that he didn't really see that much of a battery difference. Was it him or someone else? Someone actually said they didn't really see much of a battery difference when they changed it back to 60 hertz.
Okay.
I believe most of the battery drainage comes from that quad HD display. I mean,
yeah, they
the
were
screen-
saying that the screen's going to really sock it to that battery.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's huge.
4,000, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
4,000
I believe
milliamp.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, with the battery, the performance is still pretty good. The 90 hertz, you're definitely going to see a difference. It definitely, like, it feels a lot smoother. So it's something you got to actually go inside the store and try out. That's number one. Now, if I want to like convince some Apple users, like Will, to actually switch to the OnePlus to the 7 Pro,
Nice.
it will have to be that 90 hertz display, number one, and you're gonna get
Okay.
that OnePlus performance. I'm gonna say this: if anybody in this chat room, if you have never experienced a OnePlus device, go ahead, go to your local T-Mobile store, and play around with it. It's perhaps like hands down one of the most fastest Android devices I've ever experienced. Now I know Samsung has, they've made like great progress with the S10, but it's still not up to par with the OnePlus device. And on top of that, it doesn't lag over time or get slower over time. So it's a solid investment, number one. And number two, you do get your software updates pretty quick. So, you guys want me to talk about the event?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you met Jerry Rig, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I just asked for a selfie because I had to guard that table with my life.
Right.
They were pretty strict about the phones. Like, you had to keep your eyes on them. We had 6 phones, and with 1 person per table.
So you didn't have
So-
to put anybody down, right, Rishi?
Thank God, no.
Okay.
There was just one kid with his mom, man. He had like 2 phones stacked up together, and I was
Uh-oh.
like, The security guard came in. He's like, "Where's the other phone?"
There
And I was
you
like,
go.
"Oh shit!" And thank God, I just pointed it out. I was like, "Okay, he's right over there." He's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh wow,
There you go. That was
Yeah, I
close.
was like, "Thank God," because if I did lose a phone, I don't think OnePlus would actually invite me again to another event. So it's a good thing,
Yeah.
But someone did steal an accessory. It was like a case. But those things cost like what, $5 to manufacture, $2, whatever.
Yeah,
So
they can eat
Right,
that.
right,
you
right.
ain't gonna cry over that.
So somebody wasn't on the case. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
There goes George.
It was George, right?
yeah. George,
with his puns.
all right.
fun, yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Rishi. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's cool. Okay, so for the event now, I got like what, 15 minutes to actually watch the event.
Okay.
But when the time was up, I had to go back inside and get ready, get the phones ready. I had to reboot it, set it up into the retail mode. And once I did that, we had the army of the audience just come in and just pick it up. And pretty much everyone was like in awe. They were super excited. They were looking at the display. They were like, wow, 90 hertz, like wow. And they're just like, everyone had a smile on their face. Like you
And these
could
are the big
tell.
YouTubers, right?
Well, they were in their VIP section. The only person that came down to my section was Zach from Jerry Rig
Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So I think he did like a teardown video. If you guys are interested, go ahead and check it out.
He did it live from the event, right?
Yeah, he was like
Yeah,
right in front of
live,
my
yeah.
table.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Who else? I saw some guys from Android Authority. Mr. Mobile was there, and Carl Conrad.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
Conrad,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard him. Yeah.
He was there. Yeah, pretty much all the guys, like the volunteers, they were just taking selfies. They were super excited and everything. So it was a
Yeah.
good experience.
Very good.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
and you'll do it next year, or the
If I
the
get the
next one.
chance. Well, if the 7T comes out and it's in New York City, I would definitely, try to, get myself into it again.
Okay.
But
But
working behind the scenes with OnePlus, you see all the hard work that goes in, from the moderators to like everyone else, like all the managers and everyone. There is a lot of hard work. So I wasn't like super excited for the phone. I was just like kind of like wow, like after all that hard work, it was just like that one moment, because as a fan, like if I actually bought a ticket
Hmm.
and I'm just like sitting down there, I would just pretty much be focused on the phone. But once you're
Right.
working backstage, you have like this appreciation for all the work that goes in and the type of people they actually hired. Like OnePlus, like they're not stuck up. They're very down to earth people, and they really enjoy interacting with the fans. Like I'm
That's
there,
good.
like let's go outside. Let's go talk to the people that's waiting online. So I was online. I was just outside talking with them for like a half hour, 45 minutes, letting time go by and stuff. So it's a definitely a once in a lifetime experience, and I'll never forget it. And
Okay.
pretty humble.
Wait, I've got a song for that. Just once in a lifetime, a man has a moment. One wonderful moment when
Oh,
fate
man.
takes his hand. Okay, I'm done.
Is that Chaz?
No, that's from a 1960s play. You got to be really old to know this stuff. And you got to play in bands for about 50 years, too.
I actually took a theater appreciation class in college, so you'll be surprised at how many things I actually like saw
Okay,
while I
cool.
was. Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you feel like bursting out in song, Rishi, just
Oh
feel
no
free
no no no
to.
no! Chill.
So what else?
Rishi said we got to pay extra for that.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
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 So
Need
Rishi,
some, like,
I was going to ask you, what's your feelings about the pop-up camera? Everybody seems to don't care for mechanical or moving parts on a phone.
Everybody
What-
has concerns about it, I say.
yeah.
Well,
There's
yeah,
a lot of people.
Yeah, and you being near the phone, touching the phone, playing with the phone, hearing the chatter, the talk among people. What was the consensus? What do you think of it? What do you think of the pop-up selfie camera?
Okay, as a tech YouTuber, my goal is to be like 100% honest, right?
Go ahead.
Sure.
So, all right. So the people that I was with, like some of the volunteers, their main concern was that selfie camera. The mechanics. It could fail, and once it fails, like what are you gonna do? The warranty and everything is like like a 1-year warranty.
Mhm.
So once I actually got the phone and I learned it was a selfie pop-up camera, I was like, ah, shit. But once I actually used it and I saw like how actually smooth it actually came up and came down, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. It might actually work. So at the speed it actually comes up and comes down, it's not too bad. It's actually pretty cool, and it doesn't really make too many noise. And I believe it's all the parts, the mechanics inside it is all metallic. So, and I believe in the keynote he actually strapped on like it was like a 45-pound weight onto the camera.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. The thing about it is like how is it going to perform over time? We
Exactly.
can't answer that question. We can't answer that question because everyone actually uses their phone differently. Some
Right.
people like to go outside and just be adventurous. Some people just keep it in their pocket all day, or just they're very careful when it comes to their phones. So we have to wait and give it some time to actually really give it a rating or like provide a proper judgment.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. I did like how they got it so if you drop it, it does retract though. That was
I
pretty,
love that
pretty
when it
smart.
feels itself in free fall, it just automatically retracts. I thought that
Retracts,
was
does,
very
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Exactly. So I actually did a test run with that. Like I picked it up like at arm's length,
Right.
and I dropped it, and you could actually see the camera just closing down. And by the time it
Before it
got
hit
to my
the ground.
hand,
Okay.
on my hand, yeah,
Okay.
it
Yeah.
was like pretty much closed.
Andrew Stud did it on one of his videos, his recent video. He showed it. He had the camera just so he's like an upshot looking. He's looking down, and he did that, and you could just see it. It goes in kind of quick to me, I mean,
Cool.
for the distance.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
Anyway, so I thought that was a nice piece of tech.
but
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
do you hear the motor run? Do you hear the little like movement, or is it real silent?
It was silent, and that's what kind of freaked me out because I'm expecting to hear like there's so many gears and stuff inside that little
Right.
motor.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You would expect to hear something,
But you didn't.
but no, I didn't. So
Okay.
that's what kind of like impressed me. I was like, wow, it's so smooth. It's kind of like a James Bond type phone. It's like you don't hear nothing. It's just super smooth. So
Okay. See, now he's
pretty
back
cool.
in my day with James Bond. There we go.
I'm a big fan of James Bond. GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
game.
there we go. I wasted a lot of time playing that game. Yeah.
I go
That game
back.
was awesome,
I
man.
go back much further to From
Oh, yeah.
Russia with Love.
Sean Connery. Sean Connery was
Sean, for me, there's only one there's only one James Bond, and that's Sean Connery. Everybody else, they're just there.
I don't know. I like Daniel Craig, so I like Connery and Craig.
Daniel
Sounds like
Craig is
a
pretty
sounds
cool.
like a lawyer's office. Connery and Craig. Okay, yeah.
So Rishi,
All right,
Well,
you guys know like
Alan's saying when you listen closely, you can hear it. According to Alan, Alan has it
Okay.
in hand right now. So
okay. I'll say this, man. Before I actually, got the phone. Well, I can't really talk about it because I signed a non-disclosure agreement.
okay, don't talk about
So
what you're not supposed to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that. But
Okay.
outside of that, in the event, it was pretty loud, so I couldn't, get like a
and that would
pure
make sense. Yeah, because
silence.
Alan right now is probably sitting at home in a totally quiet room. So yeah, he can hear.
he's probably like,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's probably a very eerie feeling. Oh.
Oh, okay. So
But I'm curious,
That's one
man.
of
What does
George's
it sound
classics.
like? Is it like really loud or what?
Alan, you need to let Rishi know if how loud it is when
Yeah.
when the camera goes up and down.
I
Alan,
actually-
you're the man at the moment. Hey, well, you're both in Jersey City. You drop by his house.
yeah, really,
Wait,
I'm
Alan's from Jersey
surprised.
City?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from Jersey City.
I didn't even know that, man. Yo, I saw him at the event, but I was like, do I know him? I
Oh
was like,
my
I just turned
God.
around.
He's wondering if he
Oh,
knows
wow.
him.
It's gonna be weird if it ends up these two
Yo,
living around
Al,
the
you
corner
need
from
like
each
put
other.
neon lights on you, man. I'm Alan, phone tech at work.
He was wondering if he knows him, and then he talks to him in Telegram.
He doesn't have his picture on his icon, so I couldn't really.
Oh wow.
I'm at the point I'm wondering how many blocks from each other do you two live?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's not that far.
I'm by like Greenville, around West
Okay.
Side. I'm not sure where.
Yeah,
he's
well,
from,
I've
but-
seen in some of your videos. I know some of the streets you've shown.
Oh, you
Even
serious?
though they look different from 40 years ago when I used to deliver down there.
It used to be a lot better, right?
No, it used to be a lot worse.
Oh crap! Can you
Trust me.
imagine that?
When I was your age,
Wow.
some of that area you didn't go down unless you were ready to deal with stuff. So it's better than it used to be.
So
Yo,
let me ask you. You got with Serrano, I see.
oh yeah, we went
Yeah,
to New York
I saw that
City. We
video,
went to.
yeah.
Yeah. Now it would be great if the three of you got together. That would be just. That would be like like some live stream that happened a few weeks ago.
And it also proves New Yorkers and New Jersey people can get along together.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we have so many phones. Like Serrano has all those the Moto
Yeah.
P30.
Yeah. Serrano has some unusual phones, and he just got the Axon M folding phone.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, I gotta watch
So-
that video. Yeah, it's on him.
Like his phones, like even though it's like kind of weird, it is unique in a way because
He
like, with
also
the
has
Samsung,
that 3D phone too.
I have a
Yeah.
video on that with my reaction.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I should post that, but it's legit 3D. If you've played like a Nintendo 3DS
Right.
and you've had like the little holographic effect,
Right.
it's the same thing.
I mean, you can really see it. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
like I think he was playing Black Panther, and it's like
Okay.
legit popping out. So
That's
pretty
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mike, you should buy me one.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Real quick, everybody. I just see Mom popped in. Mom's in the room. Everybody say hi to Mom.
Hey, Carol.
So,
Well, according to Carol, I should say hi, Mom, too. Okay, sorry, Carol.
yeah. You've been adopted. Will, you've been adopted. Rishi, you got to come down. You got to come down to South Jersey, and this way you get adopted by my mom. All right.
Yeah, you become one of the sons.
Yeah.
If there's good food, I'm down. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Mom can whip
with
up
Mike's family, there's always good food.
That's
Oh, yeah?
right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So.
What do you guys make?
You name it. I'm a breakfast person. I can make some, eggs, and I make some casseroles. I'm making breakfast casseroles, hash brown, egg casseroles. Got bacon, using hash brown, pepper, a little bit of onion, a lot of. It's just an egg. It's like egg and hash brown mixed in there. I'm going to make a tater tot casserole. Oh yeah. So
it's like a mini diner inside your house, huh?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if
Basically.
you ask, is it good stuff? Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
Yo.
Mike's cooking it. It looks like if you eat it, you won't have to eat again for a couple days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yo, how
I
did you
lose
guys all meet up
now.
on
I
that
keep
day? Yo?
losing weight and don't mean to.
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I'm not helpful to losing weight. What's that, Reach?
Not at all.
Yo, how did you guys meet up that day? All four of you guys were at the same house?
Oh, I drove up to Jersey, and we went. And Mike lives
From
5 minutes
Texas?
from his brother. No,
From
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
On your bike
Driving
race?
is my thing, Rishi. Yeah. First thing I did today at work, I drove 135 miles out. I drove 135 miles back. That was the beginning of my day today. That's a great day for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm only like 20 minutes from Mike. So George was the one that was far away. George did the travel.
I only drove, what was it? 730 miles, I believe it was.
Yeah, only.
That's all.
George is a trip.
Yo, you guys have any questions about the OnePlus 6-7 Pro?
No, you pretty much answered everything. I mean, you make it sound great. I'm waiting to see George get it.
All right, listen, check this out, man.
I'm still back and forth. I'm still back and forth because I did like my 6, but I don't know.
The 6?
He just sold.
I just sold my
6
6
today.
Now I'm trying to decide. I don't know.
I
for the
can't
money.
believe you sold it. I'm
Just
telling
for
you.
the-
You should have never sold it. Just put it in the box. Put it aside.
Well,
Mike
you
wants
need
me
to,
to.
you
Mike
need to
wants me
show
to hold
everybody
on
what.
Rishi, tell me, Rishi. I know
Mike wants me to hold
I
on
know
to
the
it forever.
camera's great. I know the camera on the Pixel's great. I'm not gonna deny that. But come on, Rishi, tell him how great.
Mike wants me to
giving
hold
up.
on to it forever. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait. Will is showing us what he got.
Mike, I got an IP rating. I got dual speakers, the wide angle in the front. I get at least 3 years of updates. I got a deal. I couldn't pass it up. So
now
he's
he's
like-
I'm
an
looking at
iOS
the
and
7.
Android again, just like
I'm
me.
looking at the 7, but I don't know. I'm like $700. I don't know. The only advantage I'll get is the wide angle, and I'm hoping the Pixel comes with a wide angle this year. So.
No, bro. The telephoto, the 3 times
Telephoto,
optical
you got
zoom.
the telephoto and the wide angle.
Yeah,
3 times.
And they're saying that pop-up camera is killer. You know. So.
Yeah, but nah, that selfie, the selfie camera on the Pixel 3 is
Wait a
crazy.
minute. They didn't want to spend for IP rating, but they showed that you can put in a Dunkin'.
Yes, they did dunk it in water.
Okay.
Mike, they didn't want to spend for the IP rating, but they're paying what's his name to advertise the phone.
But they did the same.
I
They
remember.
could have paid for the IP rating.
The Asus just came out. Was it the Asus?
Yeah.
Right?
Zen
And,
6,
and OnePlus, neither one of them wanted to pay for the certification for the water rating, but obviously they can get wet and not be a problem. So, but they say, I guess it's expensive to pay for that IP rating, you know.
Yeah, but who was the actor? Who did they just pay? Robert
what's his
Downey,
name?
Robert
Iron
Downey.
Man. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah.
They got to be paying
Except-
him, right?
except- Except they said
Yeah.
that they
Oh, get out.
just gave. What they give
Yeah.
him, 6 million or something. But he's going to advertise it in Asia, but not in the U.S., which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He's advertising in other
He's going to
countries?
be in commercials in overseas, but not in the U.S., according to the article I read, which everybody thought was kind of weird.
It was probably like a cheaper contract in that way.
Maybe so.
Well, a lot of these phones, you know, they have these special editions like Avengers or Iron Man, and and they're generally in other countries like India, and we don't get to see them, you know, here.
Well, that's true. That could be the whole reason. That's true.
That's why they got him advertising.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you guys see? I think who was it? Xiaomi or is it Realme? I guess it's another offshoot of Xiaomi. Is it Xiaomi have a company called Realme? The Realme phones. They were right away. They came out with a advertising saying, "Well, thank you OnePlus for the opening act. Now let us, you know, we're the main event."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
like
there's so much
who did that?
competition, yo.
Was it Apple and who was it? Remember that? Just somebody else just did that a couple.
well,
months
yeah,
ago.
Well, all they're doing is name dropping, you know.
Yeah.
It was
the Pixel versus the iPhone. The price difference they showed on a big billboard on the side of the building.
No. Somebody else just did the same thing with the event. They were like, right after their event, they were like, "Oh yeah, it was Apple and somebody. I forget who the other group was." But
Weren't
they were
you
like,
saying?
Thanks for warming up, Tim."
I thought Realme was
okay. I got it.
I thought Realme was a subsidiary of
Yeah, Huawei. Huawei did it to Apple. There you go. Once you got it.
Okay.
Huh.
After Apple's event, Huawei posted a tweet and they were like, "Remember, Mike?" Because everybody was telling Huawei like, "How could you post that after your what was it, CEO or CFO or whatever got caught with all the Apple products?" And
yeah.
some kind of snarky comment. Thanks for the warm up, Tim, or thanks for something. He posted, yeah.
So.
Oh no, Mike! I just looked it up. Redmi is the subsidiary of Xiaomi. REDMI, Redmi.
Red.
REDMI, Redmi. Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I had it. All right.
You know what I want to know, Rishi? Did you see the almond color?
Yeah, I did. I was guarding that with my life.
That color looks so good.
I only had one almond color on my table. It had the blue, the black, and in the middle was like this almond color. It reminds me of the LG G6, the white color. It's like a rose color on the side, and on the back it's kind of like a white color.
Okay.
Looks pretty good.
So is that the one you like best color-wise?
Huh?
Is that the one you like the color of best?
Oh, hell no. I mean, if you have a girlfriend or a wife or something, and you want to get her a nice phone, go for that. Or maybe you do like rose gold. I mean, you could be a guy.
Okay, it's like rose gold. Okay. I had the white one plus. That's why I like that. I thought the almond looked pretty nice.
Yeah.
Since I put a case on everything, it doesn't really bother me that much.
Wow.
I got some cases from Rinky, the black and the red, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I've got some cases coming from Tudia next week.
Yo,
nice.
Yo, Will.
Dude.
Yo, Will. I know. I know. You know what? I can't say it. You'll be down. You'll say it'll be a downgrade. Never mind. I'll share it. Zach talks at tech. I was just scrolling. I'm looking for something, and I just saw this on Twitter. He's selling his.
Gary Brown is crazy.
What's he selling?
It's selling his a red OnePlus 6 and a bunch of cases. He says the phone was hardly used.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love this phone. I love that color. I just can't see apart from it.
What are you holding up, Rishi? What are you holding up, Rishi?
This is the white LG G6 with the rose gold on the sides.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty similar to this, and this is a gorgeous phone. So if you like this, you're definitely gonna like that almond color. I'm not sure exactly why they call it an almond color, but It's pretty much
It looks
white and
more
rose
white.
gold.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it okay? You know, I want to make a comment about the whole OnePlus 6, and I want Rishi to chime in though. Does it seem like they've really gone up to they've gone to a more of a premium phone status, not a flagship killer anymore? They've stepped up to
They're stepping up
S10,
against the big
S10.
boys.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're always going to try and say we're going to be cheaper than the other guys.
And they are this time. I mean, they have successfully done that.
They are, but yet though too, could you think they could have sold that phone for $599?
No, I think they could have sold that phone for $800.
Yeah, they could have.
Okay, so you really think you could get more for it?
Yes.
I mean, and the 7 Pro is purely a push here in North America because they know that we're willing to pay for it here, and definitely that if they tried to sell just a 7 or a 7T, whatever they call it, would cannibalize their chances of trying to make.
Well, plus the fact, keep in mind they're capitalizing on the success they've had with T-Mobile with the 6T. You know?
Mm-hmm. Right. So,
I don't know. My thing is like me and George were saying before we got on the stream. I think George didn't go for the 12 gig model or whatever. But like the RAM, it sounds.
Because I don't keep a phone that long.
It sounds great, but I mean, you're not really taking advantage of it. The phone is fast, but no Apple requiring it. It's like they're just pushing the RAM number because it sounds. You know what I mean? It sounds good. I don't know.
Gary Brown is saying OnePlus is no longer a flagship killer; they're a flagship.
Yeah, their prices went up too high. I think the Pixel that Pixel 3A, and they're going to take that spot now. I think
but their prices are still for what they're going up against. They're still $200 less than they are.
But George, look, all right, the S10e is how much? What is it? $750?
$750, yeah, along with the iPhone 10R.
You're getting expandable storage. You're getting the 2 cameras, right?
Yeah.
You're getting the punch hole display, which everybody said was fantastic until this one came out.
But keep in mind, they're going against the iPhone 10R at the same price, and you're not getting any expandable storage.
No, but I'm talking about the OnePlus because I don't really think like OnePlus is going against iPhone because if somebody has an iPhone,
everybody else thinks so.
See, I don't know. People I know who have iPhone, they don't look at Android phones. Like they don't.
Look at Munchie's comment. 12 gigs of RAM, just selling it to the spec lovers.
Thank you very much. Because if you have 6 gigs of RAM, when are you going to use more than that? I mean, you're not.
Gary Brown.
I
think they. I don't know. I mean, the specs sound great, but I don't know what I would pick if I had a choice. You know what I mean? Between the S10 and the OnePlus.
Right now,
the pop-up camera isn't that great to me. Like
you know what? I'm gonna
see it to know it though.
Listen. I'm on vacation next weekend, and I'm gonna go to T-Mobile next week. This will be great. I got my mom with me. I think I will take my mom in there because we're gonna get our free spatula. Did you see that?
Look at Munchie. Munchie's going in on OnePlus. They don't include the dongle.
Wait. Let me. I don't really know Munchie as much as you guys, but is Munchie a Google fan?
Munchie likes everything. Munchie likes. You know what? I think Munchie likes stock Android, and he can take a Motorola phone and he mods it and does all that stuff with it.
Yeah.
I know he's had a OnePlus 6T, I think, before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Munchie is saying OnePlus is inspired by Apple. Well, in the past, they have admitted that. They've never said that wasn't true. You know.
They aren't including the dongle with the 7 Pro as well, yeah.
Oh, they're not including the dongle?
Nah, there's no dongle in all you get in the box is the phone.
How you like my son's comment that I had to share on Twitter? I saw that message from my son. My son, quick. My son, he broke his Moto G5 Plus. Now, Rishi, did that come with your 6T, huh?
Yeah.
So my son broke his Moto 5GS Plus, whatever. Anyway, it was still under warranty. I sent it back. I had another phone. I gave it to him. All right, I'll share it to you. It's the Xiaomi Mi A2.
which I have, and it's a great phone.
But I sent it. I gave it to him. I said, here, hold on to this phone. I might let him keep it. I don't know. But it was so funny. I forgot to give him the dongle. And how this all came about was his boss gave him a job to do. It was basically sitting on a lawnmower and cut. They got the place where he works has a huge front lawn. And they said, go out there and mow the lawn. He said, all right, this would be a great time. I'm going to plug in my headphones and ride on the tractor and cut the lawn. He was like, gosh darn it. I was looking forward to listening to
headphones.
Yeah, right. And he got that comment. No headphone jack with a big question mark. I'm like, I died.
He's a little behind the times. Okay.
No, but though too is you mentioned about no dongle. So some people are gonna buy this phone, and they're going to be no dongle. You got to go to OnePlus to go order a dongle. Is that what you guys are telling me for the 7 Pro? See, that's a little shameful though. Come on, God. Come on, OnePlus.
Well, they said the
why
the T-Mobile version doesn't even have the is it the case?
Screen protector.
The screen protector, yeah, they took the screen protector off the T-Mobile version.
They're trying to save as much money as possible.
They're saving money everywhere they can.
That's not saving money. It
is though, Mike. Think about all them phones they're shipping to T-Mobile. Them cases might be, them screen protectors might be 10 cents each or whatever. So they're saving
wait a minute. Now T-Mobile's going to say, hey, there's no screen protector. Let's go sell you one.
Right? Yeah, they're going to be ready to sell you a $30 one. Yeah.
Oh, I got a question from Nigel. Rishi, Nigel wants to know, is the Almond 7 Pro limited edition? I don't think it is it? The Almond?
Nah, it's just coming after, like in a couple weeks or months or something.
Okay. Yeah. There you go, Nigel.
But if you like the LG G6, the white color, you're definitely gonna fall in love with the almond color.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I had the OnePlus 6. Rishi, did you well, I guess you probably can't talk about it if you did. Did you hear anything about why the 7 isn't coming out here? Because I'm surprised. I'm guessing everybody knows what the other companies are doing before their phones released. So if you knew it was coming out at $480 and $399, to come out with a phone for $800 and not come out with a lower tier model is kind of crazy to me.
They didn't mention it, but I think it was a business decision.
Yeah, and keep in mind that there are 3 or 4 companies doing the exact same thing. I mean, every time I get a Moto G6 Plus, a Moto G7 Plus, neither were ever released in the U.S. All the other ones were, but not those.
That's crazy. The Plus model was the better version, right?
That's the best model that came out. That's right.
And they went overseas with those phones, but yet
and they work fine on T-Mobile. You
I think there's politics. There's politics involved.
I would agree.
Taxes and everything. So.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have came. I don't know. I think they should have came out with both, but I guess they're trying to make the most money they can.
Yo, quick question. I'm using the OnePlus wireless Bullet headphones. How's the mic? How's the audio?
Good.
Audio sounds great.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Good to hear.
Sounds great.
All right.
Did they have the new ones there?
Yeah, they did. You got to actually test it. It sounds better than the first generation, and the battery life is actually better. If that's crazy to hear, because these first generations, the fast charging, it's incredible, and it actually lasts me about at least a couple of days. It's pretty impressive.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Rishi, you have the 2nd gen right now?
No, I have the first gen. I'm using the first gen.
Right now, okay.
So if you think this is good, go ahead and get the 2nd one because that's even better from the sound quality, the battery quality, and the audio quality.
That was my beef with those heads. I liked everything until I started listening to music, and I didn't. It was just flat out sound like I was listening to an AM radio. In my opinion, it just was not. The sound quality was not there.
From what, Spotify or YouTube or what? Just in general?
I listen to it just in general. Yeah. Yeah. I
was not a fan.
I was not. Yeah. I actually gave them to my wife, but she doesn't use them now. Sometimes I'm tempted to take them back from her.
Give them to your son.
Yeah, for the phone, it has no headphone jack, right?
Yeah, but you got the wireless, right?
Yeah, I did.
Well, plus the fact you must have some at least a dongle or two laying around, don't you? I've got 3 or 4 dongles laying around,
I
including
gave him a dongle. I like I said, I forgot to give it to him out of the package, so I gave
Okay.
that to him today.
Okay.
So he's in business for now, but yeah,
Yeah, but
I
I
know
agree with
sometimes
Willie. I
dongles
would just go wireless and the heck with it. You know.
yeah, I know. I got to look into get him find him a pair. So yeah.
All right, are we ready to move on to our
I
stories
think
for
we,
the
I
week?
think we got all at OnePlus. Unless
Okay.
Rishi's got anything else.
Rishi, you got anything more?
Oh, okay. If you have a OnePlus 6T and you're a photographer, you're into videos and stuff, the camera, it's hands down like, above and beyond the OnePlus 6T. That's number one. The display is above and beyond, and the performance is pretty good. You got the Snapdragon 855, so it should, definitely be a jump. So, for me, honestly, if I'm going to the gym, I'd rather have a OnePlus 6T.
Okay. Now, Mike, I can guarantee you my first comparison video with that phone will be the 7 Pro versus the OnePlus 6T. So we'll see.
Okay.
Now you said you would rather have a 6T than the 7?
Going to the gym, he said.
In the gym.
Oh.
Because I am paranoid about screens with that curved edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Oh,
Dag, now you really
it's
ruined
pretty
it for
big.
me.
Thing I wish they hadn't done.
Yeah, you ruined it for me because I kind of hated Samsung because of that. Ever since when they came out with the S7, I had a regular one, and when I broke it, the insurance, they gave me a curved. Oh my God.
And that's why I love having the S10e, because it does not have a curved screen.
Yeah.
But like you guys know, like with the curved edges, it is beautiful. Like hands down, like if
It
you
looks nice.
have money,
Yeah.
if you have money, like you should like be okay. Like that's a great phone to actually own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks nice, but I don't like it as far as screen protectors go. And yeah,
The only thing that bothers me about it is you know you're going to touch the edges when you don't mean to sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what always happens with the S9.
I think it did actually do some software implementations to prevent that software that edge detection.
Oh, the touching. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And OnePlus, they're pretty much known for their software implementations.
Right.
So you shouldn't have to worry about that.
I'll be testing that out next week.
Now that's what I do like about OnePlus. I do like their software.
Okay. Hands down, out of all Android manufacturers, Samsung, LG, Google Pixel, software-wise, OnePlus, you can't beat them. They're number one.
Everybody loves their software.
That's a fact. Number one. Yeah. That's a fact. So if you're from iOS and you're trying to convert into Android, try the OnePlus brand.
Yeah.
I recommend you guys do that.
You know what we know would be the next best as far as software? I think it's probably Moto.
You have a point. I mean, battery efficiency, number one.
The Moto.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Stock the Android, Motos. Pretty close to stock Android.
Exactly.
Munchie, you should do their presentation next time because I know a lot of people were bored.
Yo, let me call up Munchie real quick, man. Let me call up Munchie because last night I said that the Google Pixel 3a, the dragon glass tail, whatever it's called, it sounds like a Pokemon item from some Pokemon game, dragon tail item. Munchie comes out, he's like, nah, man. If it was a Gorilla Glass, the same thing could have happened because Max Lee, my boy Max Lee, he dropped his phone like 1 feet. And the screen cracked, and with the Gorilla Glass, you probably might get that spiderweb crack.
Right.
But with the Dragon Tail glass, you get that normal glass crack.
It just shattered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was using the official Pixel case.
I'll be careful with this one.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He was using.
But that case is terrible. I got the case now. You probably can't see it, but there's no protection for your phone. Like your screen is above the fabric. It's just for show.
That's why I have cheap plastic cases that actually protect my phone.
Okay? There's no lip on the phone.
I'll have a Tudia and a UAG, so I'll be good.
Yo, you know who should make a channel for just cases? Nigel. That dude just buys like
Nigel has
every single
more than anybody I've ever seen.
Yo,
I call Nigel the case king.
He is. He should make his own YouTube channel with just cases.
Yeah, absolutely. Hear that, Nigel? You need to start a YouTube channel with the cases, brother. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, Nigel and I could both start a channel with just different color
cases.
shoes. No,
Yeah.
shoes. Nigel and I have the same kind of tape. We both have red shoes and green shoes and blue shoes and all that kind of stuff.
Yo, what do you guys think about George's pictures with the Pixel 3a? Because I thought they looked freaking fantastic.
All right, guys, be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the Pixel colors. So yeah, I like them.
Mike?
Well, I think with the one that was with the 6T.
Okay.
I saw the one with the 6T.
I did. Oh yeah, the 60, right?
Yeah, I think it was a balance between the two personally. I think 6T hung in there. I think it hung in there. So
now in the one with the S10e versus the 3A, it was kind of split right down the middle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see that one yet, but that's fine.
What does Samsung sell? And they've been selling it for years. Samsung believes that people like that. They like that pop, and a lot of people do. So people will split down the middle between the 3A and the 10e. So, but yes, if you want more true color, yeah, you've got to go with the 3A.
Yeah, I like.
What are you laughing at, Will?
I'm laughing at Gary Brown.
He said, "Great video, George. Google murdered the 6T."
I like the Pixel.
All right, Mike, you can get upset now.
Mike's like, I'm glad I'm leaving early.
Nah, chill. You remember with MKBHD, he actually said that with the OnePlus 6T's camera, it was like a C+, but with the G Cam, it's like a B+.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys definitely have to try out that G Cam because
I've never tried it yet. That's true.
You gotta try it out. I think I made a tutorial video on that.
Yes, you did.
If you guys want to check it out. Pretty good results. More realistic colors. Even with the video, the colors are more realistic. So.
Right. Oh, and what happened with the 3A and the S10e split was everybody said the Pixel photos were better. The S10e video was better. That's pretty much what people said.
Well, that's been pretty much a thing with the Pixel anyway. The Pixel can't shoot video to save its life.
No, this one shot good enough video, but yeah,
it's not a Samsung.
Yeah.
All right, Gary Brown. I'm gonna say this. Listen here, Mister. Listen here. All right. I would never say the Pixel camera is trash. It does great photos, but I'm so thoroughly impressed. At least I only have the 6, and I've taken some great shots with the 6. And I really am quite pleased with the photo quality. And I've done video, which I'm going to have hopefully this week when I'm on vacation. I'm going to start releasing some videos.
Good.
And one of them is a comparison using the 6T, and I showed the 6T, the iPhone, and what I did, I had a Moto phone. So I think they all came out great. And then these phones are coming closer and closer to,
exactly.
It's getting harder and harder to tell. I mean, I know that I showed these guys last week some photos I taken with the 6. I shared with you guys, and
they look great.
They look great. You know what I mean? And and the bad shots I have were bad shots that you would have gotten still a bad shot with a 6 with a Pixel phone, or you would have gotten with a Samsung phone. So I don't know. I'm hearing too many. Right now the Pixel phone, the 3 and the Big Brother Pixel is having is still having issues opening up the camera app. They're still having all kinds of issues now. Yet have we heard anything on the 3A?
The 3A's been fine for me, perfect.
So far, right. And it's still early, and we haven't gone through a month of. We haven't gone through a month yet.
Yeah, for me it'll be a week tomorrow.
But see, Mike, that's the thing. That's what I was telling George. George is a camera guy, and to be able to get a phone for half the price of the OnePlus,
and that's what convinced me.
Still be better is crazy to me.
Yeah, that's what convinced me to do it.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Rishi made some good points, but
Rishi showed back up. Okay.
Rishi made some good points. I don't really care for the pop-up camera and the in-display
Rishi,
sensor and all that, but
Rishi, you
Let me
want to
say
get
this.
some to show us?
Yeah, this is a DSLR, and
Okay.
this is the size of the sensor. And
Right.
for a smartphone, it's just completely like it's like what, like 1/10 of the size of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So you're definitely always going to get a better quality when it comes to a DSLR.
Yeah,
So
but
the
I won't
performance
say
comes from the
always because they're catching up.
software processing.
it's
Yeah.
That's where
software.
the magic. Yeah,
Oh
software. It's
yeah,
all
yeah,
software,
yeah,
bro. It's all
yeah.
software.
And well, then you just mentioned about the 7 Pro doing what the 48 and the 48 and the 48 and the squares you were talking about, right?
Right.
So that's a processing system that they got what four blocks
Right.
of
Right.
pictures, and then the software is going to figure out or layer it whichever comes what works best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're not going to get a Snapdragon 855 on this device. You're
Right.
going to get it on smartphones, and they're going to try to optimize that processor with
Exactly.
software programming to get the best image.
And this is one thing I've been saying for 2 years now. Cheap phones, mid-range phones, the cameras keep getting better and better and better. I mean, a year ago, I would have never thought that I would have gotten the kind of pictures on the Moto G7 Plus that I get now. But the pictures keep getting better on all the phones. Xiaomi, same thing.
Hey, my wife's here. How you doing, hon?
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, you ready to get to these stories?
This is your channel. You going to take
All
the
right,
first story?
Yeah, let me see. The first one we got. Oh, okay. Yeah, this. I guess I should take this one. All right.
Okay.
This is from CNN Business. iPhone owners can sue Apple for monopolizing the App Store. The Supreme Court rules. A group of iPhone owners who accuse Apple of violating U.S. antitrust rules can sue the company, the Supreme Court ruled Monday. They claim the Apple's App Store is a monopoly. Justice Brett Kavanaugh, in a majority opinion, said that when retailers engage in unlawful anti-competitive conduct that harms consumers, people buying the company's products have the right to hold the business to account. This is why we have antitrust laws, Kavanaugh wrote. The court's 4 liberal justices joined Kavanaugh in the 5-4 decision. Let me skip down some.
Okay.
So this is the wait a minute, was this the Supreme Court? This was wow.
Yeah,
I didn't see that part.
Yes, Supreme Court, yes.
The ruling could have wide implications for other tech companies that operate similarly walled off online storefronts, says Gene Kimmelman, president of the consumer advocacy group Public Knowledge and a former Justice Department antitrust official. It definitely should make tech companies wonder how the antitrust laws will be applied going forward in an online platform environment. The case stems from a 2011 class action suit by iPhone owners alleging that by taking a 30% cut of app sales, Apple has encouraged app developers to raise their prices in response. Consumers have been harmed by the practice, the suit claims, because Apple does not allow customers to download apps from any other source other than the iTunes App Store. Unlike Android, iOS customers can only get apps from that official source, which Apple says serves as a kind of quality control to weed out security threats and apps that violate the company's terms of service. Apple argued that iPhone owners do not have the right to sue because Apple is an intermediary. But the Supreme Court held that iPhone owners have a direct purchaser relationship with Apple and may sue under a precedent known as Illinois BRIC. Had Apple been allowed to set the terms of the legal fight, the court said, it would have hindered the ability of consumers to seek relief from alleged monopolists. Apple's line drawing does not make a lot of sense, other than as a way to gerrymander Apple out of this and similar lawsuits, the opinion said. Apple said it is confident it will ultimately prevail in the case now that it can proceed. The App Store is not a monopoly by any metric, the company said in a statement. Developers set the price they want to charge for their app, and Apple has no role in that. The company also noted developers can build the apps for other platforms, including smart TVs, rival operating systems, and video game consoles. But the customers bringing the case note that the iTunes App Store remains the only place Apple customers can get software for their iPhones and iPads. Antitrust experts welcome the court's reasoning that allowed Apple to avoid the class action suit will provide a roadmap for others to evade the law. Let me see. And the rest of it is just nonsense.
Okay.
Supreme Court. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So what do you think? I know what I think. I'm wondering what you think.
I mean, I think it's just like what happened in was that the EU. They're just trying to.
No,
Yeah.
they're starting to go the way of the EU, but I think this one is justified.
You think this one's justified? I don't.
Yes.
I mean,
because Apple claims they're just an intermediary. Well, technically they are just an intermediary, but the fact that they're basing it on the 30% that Apple is charging the developers, and then Apple turns around and says, well, they set their own prices. Yeah, they set their prices because you put 30% out front for them to have to pay. So who's forcing them to charge the prices? I say it's Apple.
yeah, but they just like they said, they're able to put their app on other platforms. They just make money when they put it on Apple.
Of course, because you're going to make more money putting it on Apple.
So if you can put it on Apple,
usually I'm against these cases. This time I'm on their side.
George, if you can put it on Apple and you're going to make money, and you put it on Android and people are going to steal it. So what's your, you know what I mean? What's your better option? They're not complaining that Google.
I understand that, but if I'm only charging, let's say I'm charging $20 for my app because Apple is taking 30% off the top when I probably should be charging $14 for my app. Well, Apple is causing that. But
your other option is to put it on Android and people are going to steal it.
That's true.
So you should be happy that Apple's allowing you to sell your app on their platform at all.
I think eventually what's going to happen is Apple's going to have to start allowing some kind of side loading on their phones. I don't think they can avoid that.
The day that they do that, I think people are going to stop. You know, not everybody, but a lot of people probably won't buy iPhones.
Some people won't
because they'll lose some of their you know, their whole thing is security and privacy and all that'll go out the window once you can download direct from anywhere.
But when a lawyer
That's exactly
can go
why I think OnePlus is going to be the next, you know, big company up and coming.
Because
of you know, practices with Apple and stuff. I mean, you know, I know it comes down to politics. You know, Apple is an American company.
Yeah.
But you know, wouldn't you have like a company from a different country, like, you know, doing like, you know, great things when it comes to Android?
Yeah, but Google's an American company too, and they're both Android.
But OnePlus, when you compare the performance of a OnePlus to Google, OnePlus wins, bro.
To a degree.
Yeah, but if there was no stock Android from Google, OnePlus has no operating system. They can't exist without Google. That's like Samsung. Samsung sells a ton of phones here, but if they put Tizen on their phones, which they won't sell here no more.
Right.
They need Google. They need Google services. They need Google's whole Google everything. Yeah. And then OnePlus
that's true, but how embarrassing is it that, you know, another company is doing a better job at, you know, performance wise when it comes to Android?
How embarrassing to who?
Yeah, but do you think
Google,
you think it's embarrassing?
Samsung's the biggest.
But I don't think it's embarrassing for Google because Google is the one jumping out the window. Google will jump out the window and be like, all right, we're gonna change from Android 8 to Android 9, and we're doing this. So they're doing it first. OnePlus gets it later, and they're able to fix it or do whatever. And Google's taking the first step, and everybody else follows behind them.
I agree with
Time out. Yeah. MKBHD complained about how the Google Pixel 3,
he said his Pixel was laggy. He said it was laggy.
Exactly.
But hold on. Look what OnePlus is putting in their phone. OnePlus has to give you 6 gigs of RAM or 8 gigs of RAM or 12 gigs of RAM for their phone to run like that. Look at the Pixel 3a. The Pixel 3a is like doesn't have the top specs, but it's still able to run Android, and the camera and everything is performing good enough for, you know what I mean? And they're selling it for half the price. OnePlus has raised their price every year, and now they're at a 7.
But OnePlus still isn't up there with Samsung.
George, but their middle phone is $700. What is it? $50 difference?
No,
They're
it's
right there.
It's almost $100
Yeah,
difference.
the S10, the S10e, no, but they're mid range. They're middle. I'm saying they're middle product because Samsung is what 128. What is Samsung?
How you calling it a middle product, bro? Not
What is
Samsung.
What is George? What does the S10e start at?
The S10. I had the Galaxy S10. I had the Galaxy S10, bro.
The storage.
Oh, 6 gigabytes, I think.
No. The storage is 64 or 128.
Oh, 64.
Okay,
no,
so
I'm sorry, 128. 128.
So 128 to 128 is the same price.
Time out.
And you're getting
I had the Galaxy S10, bro.
The curved display and all that. But what I'm saying is, OnePlus has to put 12 gigs of RAM or whatever. Google just made Android run on a phone with 4 gigs of RAM without the latest processor, and the camera's amazing.
But OnePlus isn't putting 12 gigs of RAM because they have to. They're putting it because people think it's cool and people like it. You know.
I guess.
Listen, I had the Galaxy S10 with 6 gigabytes of RAM. Samsung did bump up their RAM, and I did get the Galaxy, the OnePlus 6T with 6 gigabytes of RAM.
Me too.
And the 2018 OnePlus 6T performs better than the Galaxy S10. Well,
I guess, but I don't think it's embarrassing. Whatever you're saying, I don't think it's.
I don't think it's embarrassing either.
I don't think it's embarrassing.
What? You created the operating system and you have another company.
Not against Google, because but they're giving you the whole operating system in your.
That's true. They wouldn't have an operating system without Google.
They didn't make an operating system. They just made it so they allowed you to tinker with the colors, or you know what I mean.
They allowed you to overlay their system.
Made it. And you know it.
But it's faster. It's faster.
But they designed it that way. Google, just like Apple, Google put whatever they put in their animations and all that stuff to make it run how they want it to run. OnePlus's whole thing is making their phone fast. I'm sure everybody could make their phone run faster if that's
no. If everybody can make it, Nokia, Motorola, Samsung, LG, they wouldn't have any problems.
Well, wait. You named Motorola. Motorola's phones do run pretty freaking good as it is.
They run pretty good, but not as fast as a OnePlus.
But OnePlus's whole thing is speed. That's it. But if you were to sell a phone to somebody who just walked into the store, all they want their phone to do is work. They don't care about all that. They just want their phone.
That's why Apple phones sell.
He cares about the phone being fast, not nobody else.
No. Chill. It's about being fast over time. Once you get like an update from Samsung and a new S10 comes out, your S10 starts to perform like shit. It's just based on my experience.
Not the newer Samsungs. The newer ones that don't. My S9.
I think you're kind of thinking of the S6 7 days, maybe.
My S9 performs a lot slower than the S10 when it came to the Samsung One UI.
Mine still goes fast.
Well, I had the Cricket. I had the Cricket version, so I don't know.
My S9 didn't slow down. My S9
Plus. Yeah, and neither did mine. Yeah.
But I know what you're saying. My OnePlus 6 was crazy fast, but it was just fast. Like it didn't do nothing revolutionary better than my Pixel does, or you know what I mean? It wasn't like something where I'm gonna be like, I have to get this phone because it's fast.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Say like you had like your grandfather or someone who's like not really into Android, and they want a pure Android experience, no bloatware, nothing, no applications that confuses them, no extra stuff. Would you go with a Samsung or a OnePlus 6T?
Well, if you're gonna give me the choice of a Samsung, then of course I'm gonna pick a OnePlus.
What? Oh, okay.
You're gonna give me the choice of a Samsung, but if I had to pick, I would pick the cheapest option I could get. I would go with that has stock on it. So it would either be Motorola or the Pixel 3A, or you know what I mean? It would be,
if you just wanted stock and cheap, I would take a Nokia phone. Because they're Android One.
Yeah, but Nokia and Motorola, they don't have good camera systems. Like, based on my experience.
They keep getting better too. I have both.
But they're not as good as OnePlus. They're not as good as OnePlus.
Now it depends on who I'm buying it for. But that's the thing. If I was buying it today, and my choices were the OnePlus 7, the Pixel 3a, I'm gonna pick the Pixel because it's cheaper and it's giving you the same thing.
No. You would pick the OnePlus 6T.
Well, wait, Rishi. Based on who you said we're buying it for, you said the grandfather who doesn't know much. I'm going to give him the Nokia phone because he's a grandfather. He doesn't know much. He's not going to care about the pictures that much. I guarantee you.
Oh yeah, that too. But I'm saying the Pixel's still cheaper than the OnePlus 6T.
Yeah, but it's not cheaper than the Nokia.
Oh yeah, not than the Nokia. Yeah.
So I would give him a Nokia phone.
But the Nokia, they haven't even with the camera system, they haven't finalized they haven't optimized the camera system, bro.
Not quite as good as OnePlus yet, but certainly good enough for my grandfather who doesn't know anything.
He's not gonna care.
Exactly.
Okay, what if he's a photographer? What if he wants to take pictures of his grandkids and stuff?
Now you're starting to amend it. I got you.
If he's a photographer, then I'll get him something with pro mode and all that.
Well, yeah, then I'm going to buy him a Pixel. You can count on that.
A Pixel?
Yes.
For point and shoot?
For a photographer, yes, I'm going to get him a Pixel.
Long term, you want a Pixel device. That's going to last him 3 years. 4 years.
You didn't say how many years it had. You keep adding in stuff, Rishi. Come on now.
You're gonna get your 3 years of updates. OnePlus is promising you 2. So I would get him a Pixel still, and it's cheaper.
And so would I.
I would get him
XL.
Yeah, if he's a photographer, because you specified photographer.
If you guys can convince me to get a Pixel 3 XL by the end of this goddamn video, I'm going to order a Pixel 3 XL over the OnePlus 7 Pro.
I'm getting a OnePlus 7 Pro, so.
Okay. Rishi, you're going to get talking to something you ain't going to want to buy.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
That guy right there, that guy's a bad influence.
Rishi, based on what Mike is saying, you could convince me, Rishi, but you'll never convince Will, I guarantee you.
Mike, he won't get talked into it because he loves OnePlus.
By anybody.
Mike, the same way. No, Mike, the same way you said you love OnePlus. Rishi loves OnePlus, but the same way I told George last week, if you got 2 phones and you can save half the money, why would you buy a OnePlus where neither one you're getting an IP rating? The camera for point and shoot is better on the Pixel. You know what I mean? You're getting 3 years of software updates versus 2. What are you really gaining with the OnePlus? You're getting a screen that's better, but you're paying double.
It's the performance, bro.
Wait,
No.
Let me exact something. Mark says, I'm a grandpa. I take offense that I would require a simple phone. And yes, I have to admit, Mark is a grandpa, but he's like me. He's kind of the unusual grandpa who kind of knows his phone. So we can't use him.
He needs a OnePlus 6T. He wants that fast performance. He wants that fast performance. So he's going with the OnePlus 6T over the Pixel 3a.
All right, Mark. You need to let us know in the comments, because I know you know your phones and your cameras. You need to tell us which phone would you pick. It's because we have grandpas sitting right here.
And I know, the OnePlus 6 is
Come on,
fast. Mark. My phone was, it moved great. Nothing was wrong with it, but if I had to choose one or the other, I would go with the Pixel.
Can I say something now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Say.
How the heck we get off the rails on this one? From Apple to who's got what phone does what?
It's all because somebody's suing Apple. Isn't this amazing?
We don't want Apple.
Oh my goodness gracious! You guys kill me. Listen here. Listen, I'm going to make a final comment, and I got to go pack. Okay. So, oh my God. There's got to be a liquid. They got to be like inconveniencing my man over here on OnePlus.
Mike, are you going to North Carolina again?
No. Jersey, just Ocean City, Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. We got Ocean, the whole family, the whole.
And Mark, the grandfather, said he takes SNE.
Look, we got OnePlus in the stream.
Yeah.
OnePlus is telling me never to settle, but they didn't give me an IP rating, but they hired Iron Man.
My God.
They didn't give you an official IP rating, but you can touch that phone.
I'll give you an IP rating.
Iron Man will give you an IP rating.
Okay.
They didn't give me wireless charging. Because it wasn't fast enough, so I don't deserve the option. So I shouldn't even have the option to wirelessly charge. Everybody, Mike, hold on, Mike. You'll like this one. Everybody said they love the headphone jack, so they took it away.
That's true. That is true.
Come on now.
That's true.
They're following behind what everybody else is doing.
I have a conspiracy theory on that shit, man. Because
they want you to buy those headphones.
The headphone jack. I have a conspiracy theory. If there is an Illuminati, they told OnePlus to take out the headphone jack, so we can bring you guys to T-Mobile. That's my theory. Because it made no sense. It made no sense to take off the headphone jack. It made zero sense to take off the headphone jack.
You know what though? Is it because they want to have no port so that they can do that dump it in the bucket or whatever they did? You know what I mean? To try to make
that could be true. Yeah.
Even though Samsung was able to do it with the headphones, but with the jack, I don't know. And I still might pick up the OnePlus, Rishi. But if I had a choice, if I had to pick one or the other, I would pick the Pixel. I favor the Pixel.
It's funny you said that because last night I was this close to ordering a Pixel 3a XL because my Nexus 6P, it's slow. I'll be honest, it's slowing down. The battery life sucks.
Why would you order the XL and not the 3A?
What was that?
Why would you order the XL and not the 3A? Or the 3A XL?
For the battery life, because I need my battery life. I can't last like just one day and just like be worried about like
that's valid. Okay.
Yeah.
So
what made you not do it?
Yeah.
The OnePlus 7 Pro, there's supposedly supposed to be a promotion, and all the T-Mobile workers, they're like, oh, we're going to find out at midnight. So I went to bed, I woke up, checked my Reddit, and they're like, there's no promotion. I was like, frick.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. And the fact that T-Mobile had no promotion is why I ended up ordering from the OnePlus website, because at least I could trade in my 5T.
And George used his college credit discount because he's taking classes.
I can't cheat. Sorry.
He's taking classes in Texas right now, in Texas Tech, for history classes.
So what'd you say? How much is the discount? 20%, 10%?
5%, but it came up to like $666, which is like the same price for the 6 gigabytes of RAM. Exactly. So I would get 8 gigabytes of RAM for the same price.
And in their website, they said they would give me $160 for the 6T or the 5T. Well, they ended up giving me $180 for the 5T, so I'm good with that. Yeah.
Mike, what'd you think? Get a OnePlus 7
Pro.
I want to say this. You? Yeah, go ahead, get it. We'll get together and do a video. Hey, everybody, subscribe to Will's channel. Get him to 60 subs, by the way. One shirt for 60 subs. Here's my.
And someday he may put a video up.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I'm telling him to go buy these phones. So come over here. You can use my stuff, all right? You come in here. I'll set you up.
Well, now he's got a Pixel again. Maybe he'll actually make a video.
Oh, okay. Oh, he'll get an RD brand. He'll get an RD brand grip and
exactly.
Tank.
Oh, and Mike, they got this on the website. I saw them on D brand. They're selling them.
There you go.
Grip.
Yo! Can I give a quick shout out to Rinky real quick?
Sure.
For making like these awesome cases for the OnePlus 7 Pro.
There you go.
UAG, I used to rock with them, but their cases cost like $50, $40.
Yeah, but their cases are worth it too, I'd say.
They're what? They're worth it?
UAG cases, I think, are worth what they're charging too.
Well, if you consider the Rinky cases is like 1/5 of the price.
Yeah, but
and
look at
like all that extra protection.
Yeah, but the UAG cases are up there with OtterBox, only cheaper.
That is kind of true, but for the price,
I like the Rinky cases too. I've got some 2-year cases coming, and I've got some UAG cases coming.
You think you're going? Will, you think they're going to launch a red version of the OnePlus 7 Pro?
I don't know. They might. That's when you'll get it.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to launch it until they're ready. Oh,
that's when you'll get it, Mike.
Now you see that. I'm sorry. I love my 6 too much. And they made such a perfect phone. I can't go out and upgrade.
I really can't. The display sensor and the pop-up camera.
Mike, Mike, you're going to be sorry when I do my first selfie with the Pro, and I come like I'm looking like this handsome dude. Then you're going to go get one.
I didn't know they had beauty mode. Okay.
There you go. There you go. That would have to be ultra beauty mode.
There we go. There we go.
No, I'll be honest. The 7 Pro, the selfie, it makes you a lot more attractive.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put as a caption. Even grandpas can be good looking.
Oh
Okay.
man.
It takes away all the wrinkles, all the everything, all the imperfections. It takes away
I
everything.
don't have a whole lot of wrinkles to start out with. But.
Well, I do. I have a little tiny of scars and stuff from acne growing up.
Oh, I have lots of
puberty.
scars. I was raised in Hudson
yeah?
County, so I've got lots of scars. Trust me.
Oh yeah, Jersey City is a tough place to grow up. I'll say.
Oh,
that.
you should have grew up. You should have grew up there in the '60s. That's when it was a tough place to deal with. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
have cuts on my body from can openers, straight razors, knives, and arrows, all in Hudson County when I was a kid. Okay.
He just said arrows.
Arrows, yes. I mean arrows like a bow and arrow
From
type
who?
arrows. Yes.
Native Americans? Who are you fighting, bro?
Let's put it this way. When I was a kid, if you watch The Sopranos, I was raised with those guys. That's what Hudson County was like when I was raised.
That's
okay?
exactly what it's
And
like.
when I was 19, I used to carry around in my belt a 6-foot bullwhip that I was real good with, and could take a piece of your skin out if I felt like it. These are the kind of guys we were back in the 60s.
Yo, okay. In the 2000s, these kids were carrying like metallic bats underneath their coats. I've seen it, man. It was crazy.
Oh, that's
the
fine.
gangs and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen the bats.
The
But,
bats. You ever seen someone like?
With the guys I was raised, but you can take me out with a gun. I want to see you take me out with a bat. That would be my challenge.
These cats got guns now, but they're pussies. They're pussies. But
if you pull a bat on me or a knife on me, you're gonna lose that battle every time.
Times are changed though, bro.
Everybody's
strapped right now.
Hey guys, I hate to do this, but I gotta split. Man. I gotta go. I'm gonna put you on the background, but I gotta pack. Listen, great being around, Rishi. Good to see you. Love your coverage. You keep it up, man. You keep it up. All right.
So Rishi and Will can do all the arguments, so we're good.
I know. This will all be good. That's why I'm gonna have you playing in the background as I pack. I'll drop a comment here and there. Go get him, guys. I'll talk to you all later.
Enjoy your vacation. Now, are we going to be on your channel next week or not? Or is it me?
Do I have to answer right now?
No, you don't have to answer.
Let us know during the week, Mike.
Yeah. I will. I will because Adam and I were talking. I want to, but I'll be in touch with you guys. Okay.
All right. Enjoy your vacation,
guys. All right. Bye.
All right. Now,
where is he going, man?
He's going to Ocean City, right? He's going to
Atlantic City. He's staying inside the state. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a nice place.
All right, George, you want to get this next story?
All right. Okay. This next story is called, and this I agree with this article 100%. The ZTE Axon 10 Pro is a cheaper OnePlus 7 Pro, and it could come to the U.S. Okay, well, when ZTE involuntarily exited the U.S. smartphone market last year, it effectively pressed the big reset button on its strong carrier relationships, while the brand has since returned via Verizon's prepaid brand Visible. ZTE makes the R2 smartphone. ZTE has remained uncommitted as to when and how it will reintroduce itself to Americans in a more substantial and serious way. The Axon 10 Pro could be the first step if ZTE decides to launch it here. The affordable flagship sells for €600 in a number of European countries where it launched very recently. The Axon 10 Pro has most of the trappings you'd expect of a high-end phone: wireless charging, a top-tier chipset, big 6.5-inch OLED display, in-screen fingerprint scanner, and 3 rear cameras. But ZTE does cut a few corners to get the MSRP quite so low. It ditched the most formal water resistance, same as OnePlus. It just IP53 opted for a more traditional notch screen versus pop-up and kept the resolution of that screen at 1080p instead of opting for a more costly UHD panel. In the grand scheme, however, these seem like exceptionally reasonable compromises, not the kind that make or break a user experience. ZTE is even moving in more of a stock direction with its Android software, opting for light aesthetic modifications over a heavy branded and feature-driven OS. There are some changes that ZTE hopes will make it stand out, like a switch to the faster F2FS file system, automatic system cleanup to help preserve long-term performance, some customizations to the camera experience. But the stock gallery, dialer, SMS, email, and calendar apps are all Google. And the Axon 10 Pro's launcher even features the Google Discover feed as the leftmost pane. Between the improvements brought on by Project Trouble and Android 9 Pie and a growing sense of competition in the space of long-term device update, ZTE hopes to be able to keep the Axon 10 Pro on track for at least 2 major OS updates, like Q and R. The lack of an explicit promise makes this statement of intent less than fully reassuring, so maybe not. There is also a 5G version of the Axon 10 Pro launching in a number of smaller European countries in June, though the only real difference between that phone and the standard Pro is a new custom cooling system. 5G generates a fair bit of heat. An antenna system setup designed by ZTE for the next generation of wireless networks. While ZTE won't be launching the 5G version of the Axon 10 Pro in the US, my next question to ZTE was the obvious one. Will the regular Axon 10 Pro come to America? Based on our chat, it sounds like there's a pretty strong likelihood, barring unforeseen challenges. If it does, ZTE says it will be sold by open channel, i.e. unlocked via web retailers, and not in any partnership with a US carrier. A likely price point is somewhere below $600, with summer being the target release window. But ZTE is being careful to keep expectations well managed as to its ambitions in America as it works to reassure operators and customers that it won't be part of another regulatory scandal, the kind that almost destroyed its entire business last year. As such, I can't tell you the Axon 10 Pro is coming here because ZTE won't say that it is, just that it could. So basically, I'm going to skip the rest unless you have anything else, Will. But yeah, this sounds like a great phone. I think one thing, because it sounds like the almost premium phone, but I think a 1080p display is, I think, going to hold it back some. And what I think the OnePlus 7 Pro has over it is that 90 hertz screen, for one thing. But when I first saw the first article of the ZTE Axon 10 Pro, I think they got a winner on their hands, and I think they'd be smart to release it in the US. So, you guys have any opinions?
I mean, it looks like a good phone to me. I never had a ZTE phone, but I know Mike loved his Axon.
I've had a few. I still have the Axon 7 back there. Yeah.
I don't think Richie's a fan.
It looks like a good phone, but from the software side, from the updates, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, the relationship between the US and the ZTE ain't
Right.
that good.
But at least they're repairing it as opposed to Huawei. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, you mean they're repairing it? So you might actually get a good value because they're trying to win back consumers from the US.
Exactly. And they're trying to win back the confidence of the people in the government too. You know.
So
and they did let them release 2 cheap phones so far this year, which they had stopped completely for a while. So it looks like they're, step by step trying to make their way back while making sure people know, no, you can trust us. We're not going to have this regulatory crap go again. So it sounds like a good phone to me. And for under $600, it sounds like it might be worth that. That's for sure. So I hope they do release it in the US.
But software updates, I'm kind of skeptic. I'm pretty sure if I have to put my money on it, OnePlus is going to update faster than ZTE.
Oh, I would agree, but at least they're trying to promise,
Yeah,
you know, the next 2
they are
years,
trying.
but like they say, trying, they're not promising 100%, you know.
I'll have to
Yeah.
get the device to actually compare it with the OnePlus 7 Pro to actually compare the camera, the
Exactly.
performance, and stuff like that.
I said, yeah, maybe later in the year, if it does come out here 6 months from now, maybe I can compare the two. But yeah, so I thought the article was good, and I thought it's good that they're coming back.
Yeah, that is a good sign.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
today I would get a OnePlus.
Me too. Today I did get a OnePlus.
You say you got the blue, right? Or the black?
No, they only gave me the option. It was the gray, right? Will?
Yeah, you got the gray.
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
6
because that one's
gigabyte, they
only
only gave the gray as the only option. So that's what I got.
Only one option? Was that like a local pickup or something?
No. It's
on the
just that for if you want another color, you had to go to the 8 or 12.
I had two options. I had the black or the blue. What time did you order?
No,
Nah,
gray.
you go on
It
the
was
site,
gray, black, and blue.
gray.
They got on the website.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
And I
only
guess, you know, maybe because I'm old, they made me get gray. Who knows?
on the site. I'm only seeing the 6 gig is gray.
Right. Exactly.
The other colors you got to be 8 gig for the
Right.
mirror gray
Right.
and blue.
So
For
since I'm going to
Yeah.
put a case on it anyway, that's fine with me.
I'll be honest. I think like 6 gigabytes is fine.
I
8
agree.
gigabytes is good.
Yeah.
12 gigabytes is like OD.
Yeah, that's just
You're not-
ridiculous.
you're
I
not
think
gonna-
12 gigabytes is ridiculous.
You're not gonna notice the difference between the 12 gigabytes. That's just
Exactly.
way too much.
Exactly. That's just because you want to spend money and show off.
Exactly.
They just did that because they could. They were like, you know.
Yeah,
I talked
Tech
with some
Unique
people.
says the Android stud got the blue at the store, but he was at a pop-up event. There's no pop-up events in Chattanooga. I guarantee you that.
I was watching his video. He did like his cameo of the OnePlus 7
Yeah, he
Pro.
did a great video on that, didn't he?
He did a good job at at showing off the sexiness
Yeah,
of
I
that phone,
agree.
because that phone is
Yeah.
sexy.
Yeah, 'cause I made a comment as soon as I saw it. I said, "That's a really good video." All right, Will.
Are you surprised that they didn't sell out?
Yeah, we can barely hear you.
I said, are you surprised that they didn't sell out on the website? Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember the last couple months. I think they were
I was
sold
kind
out
of
pretty
surprised when you told me they hadn't sold out.
Yeah. They still have like a 3-day.
You know, it's day one. I don't think even the average person even knows this phone exists yet. You know, when T-Mobile starts showing it off in the store,
Usually, it's like when, I don't know, maybe they didn't have as many as many quantities, because I think when the OnePlus 6 was it? You remember how quick that sold out?
Yes, and the OnePlus 6T sold even faster because of T-Mobile. So I'm thinking once people are aware that it's in T-Mobile, it'll start selling fast. Is my guess. You know.
Yeah, it was backordered pretty quick.
I'll say this: like, if you have a OnePlus 6T, like, does it make sense to upgrade to the OnePlus 7 Pro?
I think it does, because I have a OnePlus 6T.
Yeah, see, George always upgrades. I don't think it makes sense. Not just
I think it makes sense because you're getting much better cameras, according to everything I've seen.
But
and
for the
for that
average
90 hertz
consumer,
screen.
for
George,
the average consumer,
if they want a better camera and a better I think it's worth the upgrade. I do.
It is worth it, but I don't think many people could afford that.
Well, I think let's put it this way: in the normal cycle, you got the 6 in June and the 6 and the T in November, and that upgrade I don't think is worth. At least I never thought it was worth. That's why I've always bought the T. But this upgrade from the 6T to the 7 Pro, I think is definitely worth it.
Oh,
That's
definitely, it is an upgrade. But for the average consumer, I don't think they could afford that price tag. That jump to just.
What are you considering the average consumer? I don't consider the average consumer poor. I'm not saying they're rich, but I don't consider them poor. And I don't think 669 is so hard to afford.
I would consider them kind of like below the average American type income.
I don't see that as the average consumer. Because when you're talking about the average consumer, you're talking about people that buy Samsung phones and Apple phones. These are not poor people.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of people like they have kids. They have 5 kids. They have all this bills.
Well, yeah, but then are you going to go out and buy your kid a $669 phone when you could buy him a Nokia or a Moto? I'm not.
No,
unless the
no,
kid,
no, no,
unless the
they're
kid's a
not.
teenager, you know.
That's true. They're probably gonna go for the iPhone or something
Yeah,
like a cheaper iPhone, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's well worth the upgrade this time. But from the normal to the T, I probably not for the average consumer. But this one, I definitely think it is. Just my
Okay,
opinion.
okay. You are an active person. Do you think that you could like, like bike riding and like,
Well,
take
yeah.
that phone with you? You can?
I will, but I also am a fanatic about taking care of my phones. Keep in mind,
You
I
think
do
it's
not
more
use screen
fragile?
protectors at all, ever,
Yeah.
and I never scratch my screens, ever.
Okay.
So I'm a fanatic about taking care of my phones.
George, the way that you buy your phones is different because you just pay for them. I
That's
don't
true.
think the average
I don't do payments. Period.
I don't think the average person is going to be like, yeah, I'll drop 669 on them.
And that's where you guys are probably right. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I tell somebody that if I go to work and I got a phone, they'll be like, how much was that? When I tell them the price, they're like, oh, I'll never pay that for a phone. You know, they'll go
Because they use the payments, right?
Or they'll get whatever the carrier's giving away for real cheap. You know,
Well, yeah. But then that's not a person who's interested in upgrading a phone. That's just the person who wants to make a phone call and text. That's it.
yeah, yeah.
But that's what makes the Pixel 3a, the Pixel 3a XL impressive.
I agree.
That price point.
I agree.
Okay, right now for me, if I could buy an iPhone SE for like $100 and get that trade-in value for 250, and trade that in and get the $100 credit, that's a steal, man.
Okay,
That is a steal.
I agree.
Yeah.
You guys are deal makers, man.
Yeah.
We
All right,
got
Rishi,
hustle, man. We got bills to
this,
pay.
Yeah.
this Google story, Rishi?
Rishi,
Yo.
you want to take the next story?
Google,
What story?
the Google, what is this one? You got something to read it off of? The Google threatening the
Google reminding their employees.
I'm reminding them. Yeah.
My apologies. I don't understand.
Oops.
She doesn't understand, Will.
It thinks you said her name. Okay. All right, whichever one of you wants to. You got it.
I gotta look up the links and stuff. Yeah, well, you take it, bro.
I got it.
Yeah.
All right, where we at? All right, Google not so subtly reminds employees it would prefer it if they stop poking around sensitive projects, threatens termination for violators. Google has been shaken by a couple of scandals lately. Through pressure from its employees, it had to let go of a custom censored search engine for China. And when the world got to know how poorly the company handled sexual harassment, workers orchestrated a global walkout to make their executives aware how unhappy they were with the situation. As a consequence, Google appears to be on the way to become a less open company, as an internal email made the rounds last Thursday where employees are threatened to be fired when they access classified information. The report comes courtesy of BuzzFeed News, who were tipped off by an employee who received the email. Basically, the email, titled An Important Reminder on Data Classifications, states that the company is getting stricter about staff accessing so-called need-to-know documents without permissions. In a worst-case scenario, those workers could be fired, although Google makes it clear that it would only do so if information was intentionally leaked or if it risks users' privacy and data safety. Still, this move probably won't help employees feel like equals with their executives. This new language around classified and confidential data isn't an isolated incident at Google. BuzzFeed News reports that the company has been buttoning up against its own workers over the last couple of months. Google's weekly all-staff meeting isn't recorded and perpetually distributed to everyone at the company anymore, and the executives stopped taking questions from staff during it. This is a broad shift from Google's reputation as an open and inclusive company that tries to treat all employees equally and give them access to its internal decision-making process. Let's hope this trend doesn't continue, as this has always been a big part of the company's appeal.
Can I say a couple of things?
Yeah, go ahead, George. I was waiting for you.
All right. And first off, the title, the headline itself, Google not so subtly reminds employees it would prefer if they stop poking around sensitive projects, threatens termination for violators. Well, once you read the story, any threatened termination sounds about the same as any other company would give for you digging into documents that you have no business digging. That's number one. So I think that was just sensationalism. Was just to get people's eyeballs on it. And it kind of, the article itself kind of gives the impression that Google is threatening their employees because employees threaten the global walkout about the sexual harassment stuff. And I don't get that feeling. Now, I do agree with the next to last paragraph where it says Google's weekly all-staff meeting isn't recorded anymore, and the executive stopped taking questions from staff. That is kind of a big deal, in my opinion. But so to me, half the story is sensationalism and half is, accuracy. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of the stuff, I think that's what you were saying, George, like accessing stuff that they're not supposed to access. What do you think is going to happen?
Right, exactly. In any company.
Fired for that. You're supposed to be fired for that. But yeah, that other stuff, that's kind of, that's a little bit not too good. The way they're
the fact that they won't take questions from the employees in their weekly meetings, that's not good, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a little, that's kind of raises some red flags. But yeah, if you access stuff that you're not supposed to, any job, you're gonna get fired. That's like if I go to work and start looking up the patient's health records if I ain't supposed to be in the chart,
Right. And Google is saying even then you're not going to get fired unless you intentionally leak it. Well, that's true in any company, I would think.
Yeah. I don't know why this is even a million article, but I guess because it's Google.
Exactly. All right, Risha, you got anything on this one? An opinion?
Nah, I just think it's just politics.
Sensationalism. Yeah.
It's like it's just
yeah, he's same old, really. Yeah. Okay.
Well, George,
you're right, because it's Google.
George, you can get this last one. This is some politics right here.
Okay.
Yeah. That story.
Okay. All right. Pulling up. All right. President Trump is from Android Central. President Trump signs order to protect U.S. network infrastructure from foreign adversaries. Update, Huawei response. So the way I'm going to go about this, I'm going to read the initial story, and then I'll go back and read the Huawei response, which is at the top. So initially, amidst the ongoing scuffles between the U.S. and foreign countries over networking and infrastructure security, President Trump has declared a national emergency with an executive order to address what's deemed to be a serious threat facing the country. The order's claim is that the communications technology and services being used in the U.S. are unnecessarily vulnerable and even being actively exploited due to foreign adversaries being invoked in the network operations. The order aims to start fixing this problem by authorizing the Commerce Secretary to block transactions involving communications technology built by companies that are deemed to be controlled by foreign adversaries that could put the U.S. at an unacceptable risk or pose any sort of threat of espionage or destruction of critical infrastructure. The wording of the order is particularly broad, as is often the case, to give the government a considerable amount of leeway with what it determines to be a foreign adversary. At what level of threat warrants blocking the acquisitions or transactions? The order also doesn't target a specific type of infrastructure or technology, such as upcoming 5G networks. At the same time, the broad wording doesn't immediately preclude any specific countries or companies from participating in transactions for network or infrastructure equipment, though speculation is, of course, that this will most likely apply to the likes of China, as its companies continue to provide this exact type of infrastructure that would leave any country vulnerable to attack if a chain of trust was not maintained. Despite lots of harsh wording, this sort of executive order has been expected for some time now, and until it has been leveraged to block a specific company's acquisitions of equipment for U.S. networks, it's hard to see how big of an impact this will have. There is, of course, always the risk of a chilling effect on such acquisitions as companies, both in the US and abroad, attempt to navigate the possibility of having their deals blocked. Now, I'm going to go back and read Huawei's response. Huawei is the unparalleled leader in 5G. That is true. We are ready and willing to engage with the US government and come up with effective measures to ensure product security. Restricting Huawei from doing business in the US will not make the US more secure or stronger. Instead, this will only serve to limit the US to inferior yet more expensive alternatives, leaving the US lagging behind in 5G deployment and eventually harming the interests of US companies and consumers. In addition, unreasonable restrictions will infringe upon Huawei's rights and raise other serious legal issues. So, what I said when Will first sent out the story is the executive order keeps everything just vague enough that they give themselves lots of leeway to do any kind of punitive measures against whoever they want. Now, of course, we're all going to assume that Huawei is the target here because they're the ones that basically all of our politicians don't want doing business here. So Huawei, I guess, felt like they had to respond because they felt like it was aimed at them, which it may be, but nobody said so, and the article doesn't say so. And of course, everybody's assuming the adversary they're talking about is China. But again, the executive order does not mention anybody by name. So, is this executive order needed? It's not just the president. It's most of our politicians have some problem with Huawei. And the funny thing is, who makes more 5G infrastructure equipment than anybody else in the world? Well, Huawei by a whole lot. And who is probably number two? ZTE, which is interesting. So I don't know where this is going to lead. The president and our politicians seem to think they can build this 5G infrastructure without Huawei. I'm not sure that they can, but certainly all the European companies are saying, even though they've been getting pressure from US politicians to block Huawei from doing stuff, they're all going forward with Huawei building the 5G infrastructure all through Europe. So Huawei could be right, and this will eventually cause the US to lag behind. I don't know. So whatever you guys think now.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is why I can't buy a Huawei phone.
Me too. I love Huawei.
I'm too, it's like I'll spend all that money and bad enough I won't have a warranty, but they'll just be like, we're banning the phones. You know what I mean? You'll be in trouble. You're walking around with a paperweight.
Well, technically they haven't banned the phones yet, but
not yet,
they
but
make
they
you
just
scared
banned
that they will.
Didn't they're banning like the other stuff, right? Their other equipment, like the network stuff.
Right, the network stuff, the infrastructure stuff. But the funny thing is, most of the infrastructure throughout our Midwest that's there right now, who made it? Oh yeah, Huawei. Well, they can't they can't tear it down because half the country would lose their connection, and they know that. So it's a very confusing issue to me. But they obviously think that Huawei is very much in bed with the Chinese government, and who knows who's right here.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't even keep. It's like every week there's something with Huawei,
and it's always Huawei. They are heavy on Huawei week after week after week. Now Huawei, in the defense of our politicians, in the last 4 or 5 years, Huawei keeps getting caught spying on somebody's property, stealing somebody's property. They keep doing it over and over and over again, and they don't seem to give a crap when they get caught. So it's hard to figure out.
I
think it's politics. It's basically politics because we as the U.S. government are pretty sure we're spying on everybody else. We had that Snowden leaks and stuff. We're spying on everybody.
And you're right. So, it's politics, but Huawei does keep getting caught doing something they got no business. They just got caught last year stealing some company's stuff from Chicago, and they did that at CES while I was there, and the FBI got them on a sting and got it all on tape. So there's culpability on both sides here. But yeah, it's basically politics. Except nobody's going to tell us the truth, and that's our problem.
I think it's a race between like the people who are like just like super greedy. Like we have Apple, like they'll do anything for profits. We have Huawei, they'll do anything for profits.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a race right now between those elites, if you want to say.
Except that Samsung doesn't seem to get in this kind of trouble.
Because they're pretty good at technology. If you guys look at,
So
go
is
back in
Huawei.
history,
Yeah.
if you guys go back in
Huawei.
history, like,
Yeah.
South Korea, they've made strides when it came to technology. Like,
That's
with the
true.
MST technology on the
Yeah.
smartwatch, on their phones,
Yeah.
they're pretty good at when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
So
And
they've
who makes
invented
the
their
best?
stuff.
Who makes the best phone chips in the world? Well, Qualcomm. Who also makes the best phone chips in the world? Huawei. The only ones that match Qualcomm. So, they're awfully good at technology too. And they seem to be doing just fine in Europe and Asia without us. And they keep on growing. And don't be surprised if they take over from Samsung as the #1 phone manufacturer in the world. But
But I think Huawei is borrowing stuff from other companies. If you
or
guys look at it,
stealing one or the other.
yeah, you couldn't say, yeah, it is stealing.
Yeah.
But for them to surpass Google when it comes to Nightscape or Night Sight,
Yeah.
that is incredible.
Yeah,
So
I mean the P30 Pro is the only camera that most big time YouTubers would say is better than a Pixel, which is pretty amazing.
exactly. I was at the event and they were pretty honest with me, and
Yeah.
they said the P30 Pro, the camera system is, it's the best one out there.
Okay.
So that says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
Zoom is
Huawei's
crazy.
better at it. It seems like Huawei's better at building infrastructure than anybody else in the world. But ZTE is creeping up. So I'm guessing that the way our politicians feel about Huawei, that our future infrastructure may be built by ZTE. Maybe.
Yeah, that Huawei camera, that Zoom is crazy.
Yeah.
That
I'd
Zoom
love
is
to get my hands on a Huawei P30 Pro, but I'm not going to, in the US, I'm just not going to do that because I'm like you. Well, then they're going to start blocking all Huawei phones and we'll all have a brick in our hands.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you think now is a good time for Apple to start manufacturing phones in the US?
Is it a good time? I'd
Yeah,
say
but-
probably yes, but it's not going to happen because they couldn't make it anywhere near for the kind of profit.
Yeah, could you imagine what they'll have to sell it for?
Yeah, they would be selling their phones for two
It
grand.
would be like buying a Galaxy Fold.
Yeah, exactly.
For
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's not going to happen because they'll never be able to sell their phone.
Apple's been having a handful of trouble lately. Every week, every day, there's like a new story in there about something where they're getting sued or
Yeah,
they've been having a whole bunch of stuff.
But like you said before, this whole thing is getting to where, I think our politicians are looking at the EU and saying, look how much money they've ripped off out of Apple and Google and Microsoft. Well, now it's time to come here because this is all politics driven. That's where Rishi is 100% right. And our politicians want their hand in those pockets, just like the EU has done. So,
You guys
Just my
have you guys seen how many money like Apple and stuff they've stuffed offshore in those companies with
I'm not
those
surprised.
tax-free companies and stuff?
If I were Apple or Google or Samsung, I would do the exact same thing. I'd be protecting my profits from getting taken by a bunch of politicians. So I don't blame them.
But they can't access that money right now. It's just straight up politics right now.
Yeah, exactly. So on the one hand, you've got companies who are in business to make a profit, maybe a little too greedy, but then you've got a bunch of politicians who are just plain greedy, period. So you're trying to balance one against the other. Well, they're going to have to make a deal, just like they do in the EU. And the EU politicians are getting rich because they make the rules. Well, now our politicians are saying, let's us make the rules so we can get rich. And I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
True.
So that was our last story.
Yeah. Let me see. Has anybody got any more questions for Rishi? Because Rishi's got all the answers on the OnePlus.
There you go.
Any other questions, matter of fact?
Yeah, maybe next week I'll have
George's
them in.
George's Pixel 3A or Rishi's OnePlus. I think we got everything. We had a good stream today.
Yes, we did. Yeah, Nigel was saying what a good stream we had.
Yeah, Rishi had all the info on OnePlus. I swear you got a job. You're just not telling us.
There you go. Nigel is saying, yes, guys,
I'm
the
an app
P30 Pro
developer.
cameras are incredibly good, and he has the P30 Pro, and he loves his Huawei phone. That's for sure.
Yo, I'll say this. I actually asked a lot of top tech YouTubers. I'm not gonna say their names, but they said Huawei, the P30 Pro, is the best phone you could buy.
So
And
Nigel, you're being vindicated completely here.
Politics is keeping them from saying that and admitting that right now.
Yes,
That's
okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see it all the time written in articles too.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
for
Well,
them.
I mean, I wanted the P30. It's just,
Yeah, me too.
I can't do it because I think they're gonna, you never know.
Yeah, but you guys remember when the P20 came out, the P20 Pro, and MKBHD, he was kind of reluctant. He didn't really exaggerate. He didn't really give us like that honest feedback on the P20 Pro.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some
but I
politics.
think the P30, if I remember right, he praised that phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he liked that one. Yeah, that zoom, like you said, the night mode and all that is crazy.
Yeah.
So night sight, when it comes to zoom, when it comes to detail, it is the P30 Pro. But we can't buy the P30 Pro. So OnePlus, bro. OnePlus right now, bro.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what the night mode is on the new OnePlus because I'm thinking it's going to be a lot better. So did you see any night mode shots while you were at the event? Rishi?
I did try it, and the environment wasn't dim enough for me to actually
and
get
I
the
find
full
that
feedback.
to be true sometimes too. Yeah. Okay.
I have to get the phone to actually test it out. So
yeah, so I'm excited to try that out.
What about you, Will? You plan on getting the 7 Pro yet, or not? Did I convince you? Or what?
I'm still thinking about it.
Bro,
what's up?
Listen, Will, did you actually go into T-Mobile and actually try it out?
Nah, nope.
Listen, when you go to T-Mobile,
once
you go to T-Mobile and you actually touch it, play with it and stuff, then you will actually get that OnePlus fever.
Then you can come home and go to the website and get one, and use your student discount while you're at it. Yeah.
He's my student.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I know OnePlus their software is crazy. I had
Rishi, he's going to wait for you
the 3T to 5.
So
I had the 3T to 5, the 5T, and the 6.
Rishi, he's going to wait for you and I to both put up videos on it, so we're going to have to convince him.
Yeah, I really don't mind because I got these Rinky cases.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to get that OnePlus 6T. I mean that OnePlus 7 Pro.
Yeah, I've got cases coming for the OnePlus, and I've got cases coming for the 3A. So,
which one did you get?
I've got cases coming from Tudia for both, and I've got cases coming for the 3A from UAG, and I think they're going to be sending me a case for the OnePlus also. Now, UAG and Tudia are usually the two companies that'll send me cases. Yeah. So,
now, you said you're an app developer, right? You got any apps in this app store?
Rishi.
For who?
For you.
What?
Didn't you say you're an app developer?
Oh yeah. No, I didn't complete any apps yet.
Nothing yet.
I'm more into mental health, helping people with mental health.
Okay.
Like therapy and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of you helps people with mental health, and the other one helps people on these daily job physically. So you're both into helping people.
What's up, man? That'll be
Okay, good.
You put that on on Apple's App Store and let them get that 30%.
Steakhouse is asking, do they have the 8 gigabyte or 12 gigabyte version at T-Mobile? And I didn't even.
They have the 8.
Okay,
T-Mobile has the 8. And they have the 8.
All right, there you go, Big House.
Bro, they didn't have the 12?
I don't think so. No.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't even ask when I was in the store because I was rushing home to get to this.
but to be honest, the 8 is going to be cheaper, and you're probably not going to notice the difference for the 12.
Yeah, my
So
8 gig. Yeah, the 8 gigs flew. It was fast enough. The 12. Yeah,
yeah,
like you said, the 12 is just so you could tell people you got 12 gig.
Yeah, I'm betting that 6 gig
Like I
will
got
be
12
plenty
gigs.
fast enough, and that's what I'm getting. So we'll see.
12 is for bragging rights.
That's
We'll,
right.
we'll
I agree 100%.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I think the storage with the 12 is what 256.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I think it's 256. Yeah, that's
250
crazy.
or
Yeah,
512.
you'd be able
No,
to
512, I think is it? Yeah.
512, yeah, it is
Yeah,
512.
that's like if you're keeping the phone for years and you're never gonna get rid of it. That's crazy. That's a lot of storage.
But that's a good investment, though, man. If you think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. If as long as you don't switch your phone, but OnePlus they hold their value pretty good. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Among the Android phones, I think OnePlus holds the value better than all the rest of them, I believe.
yeah, I think Samsung is the worst. I think OnePlus and the Pixels hold their value the best. Samsung is like the worst. Samsung, LG,
Mm-hmm.
terrible.
Samsung, their value drops like on launch day for OnePlus.
Yeah. Samsung, the phone's announced and the value's dropping.
For OnePlus, you could get it for like $549 right now. $549 right now. So
Yep.
if you're into trading it for swappa and stuff, like you're definitely going to get like 400 at least 400. So that's
Oh, yeah,
good.
for your 6. Yeah, I sold my my 6 for 350. Yeah.
Okay.
So
The 6T you probably can get 4 something.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Because even before I sold mine, the OnePlus was announced, and then like the lowest I think was like 320, and then after they announced it, the prices went up. So
Right. Cool.
yeah,
So, all right. So, are we ready?
I guess that's it. Call it a night.
already, man, the
I
night
gotta
just
go. I
started,
gotta go
bro.
to work. I gotta go to work.
He's going to work, and you're young, and I'm old. So, deal with it.
George is going to bed. Only the
No,
8
George
gigs.
is not going to bed. George is probably going to basketball. Well,
Oh
in
yeah,
that
Oh,
we're in the months where I have lots of sports. My favorite sport is Formula One racing. My next favorite sport is IndyCar racing. I also watch tennis. I also watch basketball, and I'm a big proponent of the uh, Tour de France bicycle riders who are riding a week's worth of racing in California. So I'll be watching lots of stuff. And when I watch the bicycle riders, I DVR it every night, and then I've got 4 hours of stuff to catch up on. So we're in the era from now until September. I'll be watching a lot of sports, or as much as YouTube allows me to watch. So whenever I leave any of these streams, you can bet I'm be upstairs watching television until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's how it goes.
All right, Rishi. One more question before you disappear.
yo.
Mirror black, or mirror gray. Is it black or is it gray? Like, how does it look?
Okay, for the OnePlus 6T, the black was it was like pure black.
It was
Like
black. That's right. Yeah. So what's the gray look like?
the gray looks like more of like a blackish gray type of
Okay.
color.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's like a really dark gray.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is. So if you're into like getting your Rinky case, for the red, I would probably go with the black grayish color.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And for this one, I'd probably go with the blue, or the almond color
Yeah.
to show off that
through
color.
nicely there. Yeah, that makes sense.
So can't wait to get my hands on those devices real quick to
Cool.
show off with you guys. So
Yeah,
subscribe.
you
Yeah,
gotta
go
get
see
some
that.
more subs, man. I'm surprised you should be. I'm looking at.
It's because I don't really promote myself that much, man. I gotta
But
do
you've
a
been
better
putting
job
out some
promoting myself.
excellent videos, sir. Trust me.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. I got so many phones, man. I got the Moto X Pure Edition. I got the Next 6 Speed, Moto Z2
Yep.
Forest. Tons of those, tons of phones.
Yeah.
The Moto
That video
G6 Play.
It was cool. That was y'all set that up. That was cool how y'all did that.
Oh, we could do another video if you guys want to, man. We got other phones coming out too. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, I guess that's it, everybody.
All right.
Thanks
So
everybody
next,
for coming
just
through.
want to remind everybody, next week it's either going to be on Mike's Simply Your Device channel or on my MobileGeezer channel. We will let you know before next week, certainly. So,
Yeah.
Yo, do you guys have any questions about smartwatches, real quick?
okay. Oh,
I have
Nah, what you
the
got? You
Galaxy
good?
Active, huh?
How is it? I
Galaxy
had the
Active.
S3. Yeah.
I have the S3 as well. It was on sale for like 109 on Amazon.com. I couldn't resist it, so I got it.
So but it's the same, right? It's pretty much the same as the Active.
No,
Wait,
bro.
hold on, wait. The Active, is that the one that just came out?
that's the one that just
No,
came out. Yeah. No, it came out the
Samsung,
same time with the other watch. What, about a
Samsung
month?
just came out with a watch, right? What's it called? Oh
it
no,
was
I'm
the
thinking of the
Active.
Galaxy watch. I'm thinking of I think it's
Active.
just
It's
called
the
the Galaxy.
Galaxy watch and it's the Galaxy Active. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, so it did just come out, the one you got.
Wait, I'm
The
not
Galaxy
exactly
Active just
sure.
Yeah, I got the Active from my wife last month. So,
Yeah, I got the Active and I got the Galaxy S3.
okay.
The S4 hasn't come out yet,
Right.
if you guys are wondering.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
the S3, I have to say, even though it's like older than the S Active, it's
Right.
number one, it's bigger. It has that bezel, so you could like rotate it to
Yeah.
navigate through the menu. It has a pretty good battery life. So I'm kind of leaning on the S3, especially since it was only 109. The Active was like what, $200.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it has
and you get
MST.
MST, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo,
they took it out of the
do
app.
you guys use MST when it comes to like Google Pay and stuff?
I used to
I
use MST all the time when I had the S9 and the S
and I don't have a Samsung watch.
I used to use them all the time, and then that was my whole reason for liking the watch, because even if your phone didn't have MST, where the reader couldn't do the tap to pay, you could still use your watch and
Right.
do the same thing. So yeah, that's I like it. Do you use it? Rishi?
I used to use it all the time, but I just started using the Google Pay app on
Right.
the OnePlus 6T because I did sell my Galaxy S10.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
wait.
wish I
Now
did.
you got you said you just got the Gear S3, so you should have MST on there, so you can set up
Yeah, I do.
Samsung Pay
I
with
do.
that phone and still, yeah. So you got both best of both worlds now.
Cool.
But like based on my experience, like the Google Pay app actually activates a lot faster than the Galaxy S3 and the OnePlus 10 with the MST
Okay.
for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
they
know,
took it
I
out of the
haven't
new
used
watch.
Samsung Pay yet.
Oh, you have it, bro?
No.
There's so many discounts and stuff, and
Yeah,
you get a lot of points and stuff as well.
I think they
You should,
slimmed down their point system though. 'Cause
They
they
did
used to
slim it
give-
down.
They
Yes.
used
oh
to give all
hell
kinds
yeah!
of stuff.
Yeah.
I
Before
want
I got the
a Dex on
Samsung.
there.
I would get like a $25 credit card
Yeah.
mailed in,
Yeah, they
and
slimmed it
now it's
down.
like you get like $10 off Uber Eats or something,
Okay. Big difference.
something like that. Some
Yeah, they really
bullshit.
slimmed it down. I want a Dex dock on there when they first started it. Yeah. Yeah, it used to be good. I don't know why they scaled it back so far, because Apple don't give you nothing for using Apple Pay.
Okay.
I don't think Google gives you anything either, right? For using Google Pay. I don't think they have no kind of
No, they don't.
yeah.
Nah, they don't. But sometimes they do have promotions. Like if you sign up, they might give you like 25% off your first order or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to
Yo.
use Google Pay more than anything else.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have the Apple phone. I haven't used it once. I haven't used Apple Pay once. And I have the Apple Watch.
George, you got the watch and the phone. You could use
Yes,
the
and I
watch
haven't
or
used
the
it
phone,
once
and you
yet.
still don't use it.
There's been 3 or 4 times that I'm leaving the store. I'm like, oh, I could have used Apple Pay, and I didn't. I'm
Yo,
old.
do you
deal
get
with it.
points with using Apple Pay?
No, they don't give you
No.
none. That's what I'm about to say. They don't incentivize you. They don't make you want to use it because you don't get nothing. So what's
You
the
might
point?
as well go and join Samsung then, man.
Exactly.
Might as
Yeah,
well-
you got a point.
Might as well use Samsung Pay. Yeah.
At least you get something. You know.
Yeah, so you get something for it.
Interesting.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, I guess that's it. All right. Thanks a lot for coming through, Rishi.
No problem, man.
You'll be back next week.
Rishi, you want to promote anything before you're on your way out?
Yeah, your
All right,
Twitter.
I should promote something, man. Let me just go ahead and find it real quick. that OnePlus water bottle. It's somewhere around. Oh, here.
Right behind you.
This is Swell. OnePlus actually promoted this bottle. If you were at the event, you got a OnePlus Never Settle bottle from Swell, and basically, you could actually put some hot tea inside this bottle, and it could remain hot for like about 12 hours, 10 hours.
Cool.
There is some science behind this. I haven't like figured it out. Like I do my calculations and go back into college and look at my college notes
There you go.
and do the formulas and figure out how they were able to like do this. So for hot items and cold items, you could definitely see yourself buying a Swell product. And that's pretty much it. I got this T-shirt and
the
stickers.
hat. And the hat.
I got the hat from
There you
working
go.
with them. It's pretty good. And I got the wristband, OnePlus.
Okay.
So it's a great company. The people that work there, I love them. They have great personalities, very caring. So,
Cool.
I've been with Samsung and stuff and Apple, and they're more like I don't want to say sociopaths, but
No, they're more like
But-
you're nobody, we're somebody.
yeah. But with OnePlus, they're like, yo, thanks for coming by. Thanks for being with us. We're glad to have you with us.
They make you
it's a
feel
great
like
company.
you were glad, that they're glad you were there.
Exactly. That you feel like you're wanted. So
Exactly.
that's why I rock with OnePlus. So
All right, Will.
yeah.
Does him having the wristband make him an aristocrat? Okay.
Oh man. Lisa, you wanna plug your Twitter or your Instagram or whatever you got?
Well, yeah, you can follow me at Twitter at _AlteredTech or Instagram at AlteredTech or at YouTube/AlteredTech if you want to see my videos and stuff. So
Okay.
I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. I'm trying to get to
Subscribe
1,000
to him.
subscribers.
He does good work.
I appreciate it, man.
On me, you all know me. I'm MobileGeezer. You know my channel. Hopefully, I'll be on my channel next week or Simply Your Device. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I do a lot of posts of a lot of pictures on all three. And my website is mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. At least one article, usually on Sunday. I will see you next week, folks. And now the man who's in charge.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming. Everybody have a good Friday. I see some people in the chat are watching the game. I think George is gonna be watching the game in a minute. Thanks, Mike, for coming through. I know you're busy. Have a good vacation and see everybody next week.
Wait,
Thanks,
what
folks.
game are you talking about, bro?
Basketball.
Game.
What, Raptors and
I think
Bucks?
Milwaukee's on. Yeah.
Who's winning right now?
Milwaukee, yeah. I mean,
Let me see. I just saw. Yeah, but they said Milwaukee's killing Toronto.
Damn it!
Yeah. All right, I guess Rishi's gotta go watch the game.
yeah, I'm a
I was going
Celtics
with-
fan, so I'm already done.
Oh
Are
man.
you a Celtics fan?
Yeah, I've been a Celtics fan for 40 years.
Y'all got some dysfunctional stuff going on right now.
I'm a Celtic fan
Kyrie-
who doesn't even like the star of his team anymore. Okay,
Kyrie is coming to New York, bro.
and Kyrie is a
So-
Jersey guy, and I don't like him.
I can't wait till he comes back to New Jersey, to New York,
Wow, 17.
and to his roots.
Yeah,
And
so
starts
you're
dropping
going
50
to have
points.
Kyrie and
KD.
KD, and you're going to have two big personality problems right there in New York. Enjoy them.
Nah.
You got two
They're
big
going to take
personality-
turns dropping 50 points, bro.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
you
it.
got players with two big personality problems.
Yo,
All right.
can someone explain to me how did New Orleans get Zion Williamson? How
Yeah, that was the big news. Wasn't it?
how the hell?
They had an 8% chance. New York had a 14% chance.
Man, that didn't make no sense, man.
All right, folks. Will you take us
All right, next week we'll continue this conversation. All right,
right.
y'all. See y'all later.
out, folks?
Peace.